Okay, Mexican Joe here, little project we're working on. Stopped by Bob Wells Nursery today. You can see it's raining now. It wasn't then. I'll show you what we did. Alright, so I stopped and I wanted to pick up a couple of trees, and Rob, this is Bob's little brother, started talking to me into stuff. He started saying all the things that I've been hearing Jack talk about. He had gooseberries. So I picked up some gooseberry. I'm going to plant it right there on that lattice work. I'll back up here a little bit. And I'm going to plant something else on the other lattice right there. I'm not really sure what it is, but my whole idea is to get gooseberry all the way up, so we have gooseberries. We've tried them. They're really pretty good. I'd never heard of them before Jack mentioned them. So there's gooseberries. I'm going to show you here in a minute what I've done with getting ready to plant these trees. Okay, here's what I'm working with. I've got a couple of Bartlett pear trees right there. When I got them, they actually had blooms on them. Apparently they've been pollinated with the nursery wherever they came from, but they haven't done anything since. So I don't know if it was the frost or I didn't have the right fertilizer. So what I did was I went to Bob Wells Nursery, and they gave me a couple of different types. This is a Moon Glow, and I'm going to plant this here in a minute. This is one of the fertilizers for my Bartlett pears. Okay, now back here I'll go the other way. Back there in the distance, you can see my wood chip pile that my electric company dropped for me for free. What I did was I just grabbed, going the wrong way. I grabbed that green bucket there, filled it up with wood chips, and brought it over and filled up all my holes. Now the white bucket has rabbit manure in it. Now rabbit manure is considered a cool manure or a cool fertilizer, but I still don't think I want to get it in contact with the roots. So after I do this, I'm going to put that on the top. So all I did was I just put a little bit, maybe an inch or two of wood chips on the bottom, kind of using the Hugel theory, in that the wood chips will absorb the water, they will hold it up. It's not a Hugel mound, it's not like my Hugel buckets, but it is Hugel culture in my eyes, because what's going to do is as the water goes down this hole, which is now loose dirt, it's going to hold up on the bottom of them roots, and hopefully it'll push the roots downward and not make them come up to where the fertilizer is. Now, I also picked up some slow release fertilizer while I was there at Bob Wells Nursery. I'm going to put that on top, and I'll put the rabbit manure on top, and we'll go from there. So this is the Moon Glow pear, and we'll go from there, and I'll just drop this one in real quick, and I'll show you one tree at a time what I picked up today. What I got was I got 3 trees. I got 2 pears and an apple, because Rob was concerned that my Bartlett wasn't going to make it here in this area because of, I think he said it was blight that it gets. And there's my 2 Bartletts. They look really healthy, but we'll wait and see. That's my Granny Smith right there, apple tree. These are, I believe, Golden Delicious, or Yellow Delicious, and that's a cherry tree. I've got to get a mate for it. And over there I've got another apple tree. So we'll go over there and look at that in a minute, and then I've got another blueberry back there. But we'll get to that here shortly, so let me get this one in the ground. Alright, this one here is a Jonagold apple. They're a little wind whipped from the drive from Lindale to Mineola area. It's about 10-15 miles. But again, I got the hole in the ground there. I'll show you all these when I'm done. And there's my rabbit manure, just little poo pellets. And there's my wood chips, which I think I've dumped all those. So let me get these in the ground, and I'm going to go show you the others before I put them in, and we'll go from there. There's my sister's little rat dogs. Okay, here's my existing blueberry that I picked up. Let me set old Keith Stone down here so I don't spill him. Let's see what we had. We had Brightwell blueberries, and I asked Rob what I needed to mesh with that. And Rob looked at his little chart, and he said I needed Premier blueberries. So you can see I did my strawberries here. I'm trying to use my strawberries as ground cover to help keep the moisture in, because they're going to vine out. So let me back up here. You can see there's probably maybe 6 foot of space. That's probably not the proper spacing, but another friend of mine says that he only plants his about 4 foot apart, and he turned them into a shrub, and they worked out really well. There's the guineas, my little biological security system. And there's the chicken that thinks she's a guinea. And there's twin frickin' frack. Now here's something interesting, is that I planted these 2 lime trees last year, and supposedly they were going to grow. Now I got these from Lowe's. These are not Bob Wells trees. Well, we had an extreme frost here in 2013-2014 winter, and it looks like it killed the trees. But now it looks like I may have some growth coming up from the root. So we're going to wait and see what that does. I didn't want to pull it out right away. I wanted to see what it was going to do. So we'll wait and see. We'll see what that looks like. Okay, here's my last tree. It's getting ready to go on the ground. See, I got my hole prepped. I got my wood chips in there. This is a Warren pear. This is another one that will fertilize my Bartletts. You see, I got my 2 nectarines there, and these are the collars that I've been telling people about. Canaflex or something is what it's called, and it's just an air ducting, and I had to put it around all of my trees, especially my apple trees, because the rabbits were eating them. Now, if you look over there, I got my hugel buckets. Now that is Three Sisters Gardening. It's corn, and I can't remember if Karen put peas or green beans in there, and there's a squash in the base, and there's the little windmill deal, and I've got oregano on it, I've got thyme, and I've got sage in the bottom, and that's doing really good. And then another one is, where am I here? Found my flagpole. There's sage at the bottom of the flagpole, and it's doing really well. I've got it caged off so the rabbits don't eat it. And you can see that, oh, there's the house. I don't know if you can see it. You probably can't see it. I've got just stuff growing all over the place. So that's it. And now you can see that we've just got, here's all my fruit trees, my little orchard. Now, here's something that's kind of unique. That over there is east. So that's kind of, you can see where it comes across, and you can see this property. That in the morning, in the dead of summer, we do get good sun, and it comes across, but we also get some shade. So we kind of get some filtered sun, and for some reason, these trees have done really well. I've got some trees back over there behind the van, that are peach trees, just from the seeds people have thrown out, and they, for some reason, are starting to grow, and they're 6-8 foot tall. So we'll look at those again here later on in the year. But this is it. I'm just trying to get my little orchard going here in the front yard, and I'm going to do a bigger one out back. Like Jack says, you know, start up where you can work with it, and then work your way back and get bigger and bigger. It doesn't all have to be done the first year. So there you go. All right, we'll get this in the ground. We'll go from there. Okay. I want to show you this. What I typically do is I'll mound the dirt up. I'm trying to get as much dirt around the trunk as possible, because when I water it, it's going to sink in. Now I also kind of do on the uphill slope. I do a little indention, kind of a little mini berm, or not even a wannabe swale on each one before I throw my manure down, because I want to stop the water right there and catch that. And I've done it with all of them. You can see the dogs over there and playing in the manure. But I just kind of got them all in. Now just dropping my rabbit fertilizer. I think I'm going to hold off with the fertilizer I bought from Bob Wells Nursery. I don't want to shock the plants too much. I'll give them a week or so, and I'll come back out and put it on them here in a week. It's raining right now, or just drizzling, so we'll be good. And you can see the look. I actually got a couple peaches this year, even after the frost. Took out most of them. I still got a couple. So that's it. Now what I'm also going to do with all of these trees, the ones I just put in, the other ones are getting a little bit of rain, I'm going to put a gallon of water at least on each one of these trees. I just want to make sure they're hydrated. You can see this is kind of a good mix of clay and sand. It was pretty dry down deep. So I'm going to go ahead and hydrate the plants really well, make sure they've got enough water. I don't want the sand to wick off any moisture off the roots. So I'm going to go ahead and water these in pretty good. Alrighty, so that's it. So we got some more trees. And you can see that there's playground over there. We just trying to get it going. Don't be frustrated that you can't get it all done at once. This right here is 3 years in the making. I mean, just the trees. The grass is only 2 weeks old. I need to mow it.